Ladies and gentlemen, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs is already here, so quick recap of wildcard weekend. The Chargers choked in Chargerly fashion to the Texans. Steelers vs. Ravens. Let's be real, the Steelers never had a chance of winning. Same with the Bills vs. Broncos. The Bills are just miles ahead of the Broncos. And then the Packers vs. Eagles was unexpectedly a very sluggish game with lots of turnovers, especially with Jordan Love throwing 3 interceptions. That was really the Packers' killer right there. But the Eagles did manage to win 22-10. And the Commanders are doing field goal to win the game. And the Bucs are going home. And then, I swear, the Vikings have the Cowboy syndrome. How do you get 14 wins and 3 losses and then lose in the first round of the playoffs to a 10-win team? Like, come on, you gotta do better than that. But now, transitioning to the divisional round, we have the 1-seed Chiefs versus the 4-seed Texans. The Texans do have a pretty good chance of winning this game. Their offense and defense looked amazing last week in their dominant win over the Los Angeles Chargers, showing how easy it is to flip a football game around. The final minute of the second quarter, you basically already knew that the Texans were going to win that game, let's be honest. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs, just like last year, are going to show up in the playoffs. And don't forget, these teams did play a couple weeks ago, and the Chiefs actually won 27-19. And that was really the turning point in their season. Before that, they had a bunch of sluggish games where they would just barely win off of some lucky and maybe some help from the officials. But yeah, overall, I think the Chiefs are going to get a pretty comfortable win here. Final score prediction: Chiefs 27, Texans 21. But trust me, the game's not going to be as close as what the score is. Next, we got the 1-seed Lions versus the 6-seed Commanders. The Commanders have put on a clinic for us at the wildcard round last week, but will it be enough to stop the firepower Lions team? Well, let's take a look deeper. The Commanders have only had 2 games this whole year where they haven't scored at least 20 points in a game, which is really impressive, I'm going to be honest. Overall, their offense has scored 29 points per game this entire year, which is actually pretty good. Meanwhile, the Commanders' defense is pretty middle of the pack, but it is improving every week by week though, which is a good sign because they're playing a team where they need everything they can get to win. And that team is the Detroit Lions, who have been scoring over 30 points per game, which is just unbelievable, while only letting up 18 points per game. Which, hold up, can we just take a minute to acknowledge how crazy that is for a team to be that good? And overall, the Lions have a lot more experience than them. They went to the NFC Championship game, but didn't make it to the Super Bowl because they couldn't kick the damn field goal. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes though, and I think they're gonna win this game. Final score prediction: Lions 34, Commanders 24. But next we have the 2-seed Eagles versus the 3-seed Rams. Let's start by analyzing the Rams here. Last week in the wildcard round, their defense put on a show against the lonely Minnesota Vikings. They got 2 turnovers and 9 sacks against the Minnesota Vikings, which is 9 sacks, by the way, is just crazy though. And those 9 sacks all came at a point where it would literally ruin the Vikings' drive. Overall, the Rams defense was very clutch last week. So was the Eagles though. The Eagles got 3 interceptions on Jordan Love. And if you watch that game, it looks like the Eagles were winning effortlessly. So pretty similar games just happened between the Eagles and the Rams in the wildcard round. But what separates these teams is that the Eagles know how to win. They know what it takes to win. They know the qualities of winning. And that's why I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. Final score prediction: Eagles 23, Rams 17. Now for game of the week by 4, the 3-seed Ravens versus the 2-seed Bills. The Ravens are somehow 2-point favorites in this game. And that was mainly probably because of their game they had earlier this year where the Ravens dominated them in a pretty embarrassing score. But that was because the Bills weren't as good of a team as they were now. They have been developing throughout the whole season, beating teams like the Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs to end their undefeated streak. And then last week they beat the Denver Broncos by a whopping 24 points. That's about 3 touchdowns and a field goal, which is crazy in a playoff game. Meanwhile, the Ravens' rushing attack and their fire-powered offense has continued to torture teams. Derrick Henry had 186 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Steelers, and Lamar Jackson also had 81 rushing yards. Overall, these two teams have 2 fire-powered offenses, but now the ultimate question is who is going to win? And in my opinion, I think Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are going to win, mainly because of Lamar Jackson's playoff history. But let's just say the Buffalo Bills are gonna win for now. Final score prediction: Bills 38, Ravens 35, and the Bills are gonna be advancing to the AFC Championship game for the first time since 2020. That's all for now. Stay tuned for next week for our championship game predictions. And like always, make sure you like, subscribe, even share the video, maybe even comment. Make sure you support this video. And now only time can tell who's gonna make it to the Final Four.